Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm indeed very honored to be asked to deliver this inaugural address on the philosophy of praxis. But I hesitate to do that when I have Comrade Prabhat Patnaik here sitting in the dais next to me, who was in fact my teacher. And a lot of the consolidation of the Marxist outlook that I have he's also been very chiefly responsible. So to speak about theory of praxis or the philosophy of praxis, and I've been asked by the organizers to be both theoretical and practical, and which is indeed a very difficult job in normal circumstances. But in the circumstances, in the immediate aftermath of the selection result, it's a little more daunting as well. But I'm very honored to be here, particularly when Comrade Radha is here with us on this occasion of our continuing homage to Comrade EMS Namboodiripad and his pioneering work in developing Marxism in Indian conditions. And in the presence of my colleague in the Politburo, Brinda Karat, Ajaz Ahmed, Vijay Prasad, all known intellectuals, I feel a little humbled and belittled before I start trying to meet the objectives of the organizers in doing justice to the topic that they have chosen. I'll try to cover both the aspects that I've been asked to, but naturally it will only be sketchy, and but to come basically to the point of what we have to confront in our country before the Marxist movement today and the communist movement, and how we are going to achieve our goals. What is the philosophy of praxis? Praxis is a word that you do not normally find in Marx, Engels or Lenin. I mean, I do not know, I have not exhausted all their writings, and they've written volumes, as all of us know. But it is not a commonly used word in any one of those three of them. But it originates from a Greek concept which Aristotle at one point have said, that praxis is one of the three activities of human beings. One is to theorize, one is to produce, and the third is to action, and that is practice. But philosophically, the concept of practice was considered, of praxis was considered as a synthesis of theory and practice without presuming the primacy of either. The both are equally important, and which is what Lenin in What is to be Done teaches all of us, that there is no revolutionary theory without revolutionary movement. Vice versa, there is no revolutionary movement without a revolutionary theory. This dialectical unity between theory and action is, I would consider, this is what defines in the scientific sense what praxis is. And it was Labriola, it was an Italian philosopher of the 19th century, Antonio Labriola, who actually defined Marxism as the philosophy of praxis. And you have glimpses of this in all of Marx's writings, all of Engels' writings, and most of Lenin's writings, when actually the entire Marxist worldview, that one sentence, and a very often quoted sentence in his thesis on Feuerbach, when he talks of the interpreters, the philosophers have interpreted the world in various ways, but the point is to change it. The change is what is the element of philosophy that was introduced with Marxism, where you talk of a change that comes of conscious human action. And that conscious human action, combined with the theory that Marxism gives you, is what Lenin once defined as saying, what is the irresistible quality of Marxism that draws to it hundreds of thousands of workers from various parts of the world, irrespective of their languages and cultures, why are they attracted towards Marxism? He answers this query by saying that they are attracted primarily because it is the only philosophy that combines two qualities. It combines them not because the founder of the philosophy combined in his own life both these qualities, but it combines them intrinsically and inseparably, and that is that it is a supremely scientific philosophy which at the same time is also revolutionary. The combination of these two aspects of a scientific theory which is of a revolutionary potential, which combines the emancipatory ideals of humanity. It is this unique combination that makes it the attraction and which is universally true even today, despite all the crisis and the so-called negative atmosphere that people are talking about. Even today, in today's papers, you will find in at least two of them that I read, articles saying that Marxism is outdated, Marx and capital have to be discarded in this age of globalization and neoliberalism, etc., etc. I mean, a sort of an attack which in essence goes back to from the time of its origins. The similar class attack that is mounted on Marxism, Leninism, if you call it, because this is the only philosophy that speaks of a world, that visualizes a world and shows that it is realizable, where you begin to end the domination and exploitation of one class by another. That the movement towards a classless society, it is not merely a wish, a utopian wish, but a scientific, realizable goal. And the entire corpus of Marxist world outlook, in that sense, is, in my opinion, the ambit of this philosophy of praxis. And to understand this, it is necessary also to understand how Marx also evolved to this position. In fact, a very famous treatise is full of implications which you read and reread and you still find new nuances even today. That is the Economic and Philosophical Manuscripts of 1844, when he moves to Paris. And he moves with what understanding? If you remember, in Germany, there used to be a group called the Young Hegelians. And Feuerbach was the leader of this group. And they would be discussing Hegelian philosophy and materialism and dialectics, etc. But Marx came to a point of very severe disagreement with Feuerbach, when the entire attempt was to try and liberate the consciousness of the people from the hold of religion, which is keeping them backward. And therefore, the emancipation of humanity was seen as the liberation of the mind. And from this point, the point of departure in Marx begins, where he says this liberation of the mind cannot be a thing in itself, that the mind itself is the product of circumstances, which in a year earlier, in his critique of the Hegelian philosophy of law, which he concludes by saying that neither the legal relations nor political forms can be comprehended by themselves or on the basis of a so-called general development of the human mind, which is the conclusion of Hegelian idealism. But on the contrary, he continues, originate in the material conditions of life, the totality of which Hegel embraces in the term civil society. Today, civil society